Namaskar. Myself Dr. Deepti Bisht, Professor, Department of Kai Chikitsa, Faculty of Ayurved Sciences, Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. In today's session for Class 4 BMS, Class 4, 4th year BMS, I am going to discuss the topic pneumonia. So let's start with the introduction. As we know, pneumonia is an inflammatory condition of the lung affecting primarily the alveoli of one or both lungs. It is usually caused by infections with bacteria or viruses and less commonly due to other microorganisms like fungi or mycoplasma. And similarly, certain medications and conditions like autoimmune diseases may also be caused. Risk factors include other lung diseases such as cystic fibrosis, COPD, asthma, diabetes, heart failure, etc. So pneumonia is considered as the captain of the man of death in 19th century because it was considered as a very deadly disease at that time. But with the introduction of antibiotics and vaccines in late 20th century, patient survival improved. But still in developing countries and among the very old and very young persons and chronically ill person, pneumonia still is a leading cause of death, and it is sometimes also called the old man's friend because it often shortens the suffering among those already close to death patients. Now, different types of pneumonia can be seen like community acquired pneumonia, hospital acquired pneumonia, healthcare acquired pneumonia, and aspiration pneumonia. So causes are bacteria. Common bacteria is Streptococcus pneumoniae. It may affect one part or lobe of the lung. The condition is usually called lobar pneumonia. Some bacteria-like organisms, Mycoplasma pneumoniae, also they can cause pneumonia. It typically produces milder symptoms than other type of pneumonia. Then other causative organism is fungus. This type of pneumonia is mostly common in people with chronic health problems or weakened immune systems. In the people who have inhaled large doses of the organisms in the form of bird droppings or through soil. So the conditions depend upon geographic location. Common viruses which are causative of pneumonia are flu viruses, and the mostly common affected persons are children less than 5 years. Usually colds and flu occur which then converted to pneumonia. Usually viral pneumonia is considered as mild, but in some cases it can become very serious. So the risk factors which are associated with pneumonia. Since pneumonia can affect anyone, but the two group ages are at highest risk, that is children between 0 to 2 years of age and adults which are of age greater than 65 years. Another risk factors include the conditions like being hospitalized. Patients are at greater risk of pneumonia if they are in a hospital intensive care unit. Some chronic diseased persons, like persons having asthma, COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or heart disease, are most likely to get pneumonia. Persons who are chain smokers, since smoking damages body's natural defenses against bacteria and viruses, and it weakens the respiratory system. So the persons are usually get pneumonia very easily. Persons with weakened or suppressed immune systems, like people who have HIV or AIDS, or they have used steroids for a very long time, or have had an organ transplant or received chemotherapy, then these persons are also at high risk. Clinical features. Transmission mode is usually droplet infection. The clinical features involves general systemic features like fever, sweating, chills, cough, usually with sputum, breathlessness, that is shortness of breath, chest pain maybe there. Body temperature is usually lower in adults and in cases of persons with weak immune system. There may be nausea, vomiting, or diarrhea. Headache and fatigue are also common. Some specific pulmonary symptoms are also there, which involves breathlessness and coughing. Breathlessness is characteristically short, painful, and dry in nature. Later, this is accompanied by expectoration of mucopurulent sputum. The sputum is usually rust colored and indicative of streptococcus pneumonia infection. Occasionally, patients may report hemoptysis. Pleuritic chest pain may be there, which referred to the shoulder from anterior abdominal wall. Upper abdominal tenderness is usually seen in cases of lobar lobe involvement in pneumonia. Examination findings suggestive of bronchial breathing with increased whispering bacterioloquy. Crackles are often detected on auscultation of chest. So these were the clinical features. Before going towards investigations, let us discuss some complications which can occur. Even with treatment, some people with pneumonia may experience complications such as bacteria in the bloodstream, that is bacteremia, and it may potentially cause organ failure, difficulty in breathing in chronic underlying lung diseases. Fluid accumulation may be there, causing pleural effusion. Again, this is an severe condition. Then lung abscess may be formed in the pleural membranes or inside the lungs. Now moving on to investigations. The usual investigations done are complete blood count is done, in which usually white blood cells may be normal or marginally raised. If they are raised neutrophils, then it is suggestive of bacterial etiology. Blood culture often comes positive in cases of pneumococcal pneumonia. C-reactive protein is often seen raised. Sputum culture is done by Graham and Jill Nelson stains and antimicrobial sensitivity testing to detect the causative organism. Then PCR is done. In this test, mycoplasma detection is done from oropharynx swab. Sometimes pulse oximetry is also needed, which is a non-invasive method of measuring arterial oxygen saturation. Other investigations which are usually done are liver function tests, urea and electrolyte balancer. Other radiological investigations are chest X-ray, which presents a pictures of homogeneous opacities, localized or multiple to the affected lobe or segment, usually appears within 12 to 18 hours of the onset of illness. In doubtful cases, CT lung may be advocated. Now management. For management, specific antibiotic therapy is done. Usually broad spectrum antibiotics are used according to situation. Oxygenation is done as per need. Fluid and electrolyte balance should be maintained. Uncomplicated cases are treated with amoxicillin in the dose of 500 mg TID. If a patient is allergic to penicillin, then clarithromycin 500 mg 12 hourly or erythromycin 500 mg 6 hourly is given. Similarly, flucloxacillin is used in the dose of 1 to 2 grams 6 hourly if The culture is for Staphylococcus, and with this clarithromycin is also advised. In case of Mycoplasma infection or Legionella infection, the antibiotics which are usually used are clarithromycin 500 mg, erythromycin 500 mg, and rifampicin 600 mg BID in severe cases. These are this is a management for uncomplicated cases. If there is severe pneumonia or severe complicated community acquired pneumonia, then following antibiotics are usually used, like clarithromycin 500 mg BID, erythromycin 500 mg QID, coanoxiclav 1.2 gram TID IV, ceftriaxone 1 to 2 gram daily IV, cefuroxime 1.5 gram TID IV, amoxicillin 1 gram QID IV, and flucloxacin 2 mg QID IV. So these are the antibiotics which are used in severe conditions of pneumonia. So basically, before after management and proper rehabilitation of the patient, proper precautions regarding increasing immunity should be done. Prevention can be done by proper sanitization, by proper hygiene, preventing the infections, working in hygienic conditions, avoiding soil and fungus infected soil and bird droppings around the surroundings, protecting children from cold in winter weather, etc. These measures should be adopted. During the treatment of pneumonia, other supports should be given according to need of the patient, like respiratory support is needed whenever there is shortness of breath, so oxygen is administered. If breathlessness is severe, then bronchodilator medications is given. Nebulization is also done. Postural drainage is done according to requirement. Just physiotherapy is advised after the complete recovery, and tracheal suction is done when needed. Nutritional support and fluid and electrolyte management, these two things are also advised while treating the patient of pneumonia. Now, regarding vaccination, pneumococcal conjugate vaccine Prevnar is available now, which is given to children less than 2 years of age or between 2 and 4 years with certain medical conditions. Another pneumonia vaccine called Pneumovax, that is pneumococcal polysaccharide vaccine, is given to adults who are at increased risk of developing pneumococcal pneumonia, such as the elderly, diabetics, those with chronic heart, lung or kidney diseases, alcoholics, and smokers. So this is the vaccination which is done after the management of pneumonia. I would like to discuss some Ayurvedic disease which is correlated with pneumonia. This is श्वसनक ज्वर. आयुर्वेद में हम pneumonia को श्वसनक ज्वर से कंपेयर कर सकते हैं, और इसकी यदि हम चिकित्सा की बात करें तो सर्वप्रथम चिकित्सा में पहला जो सूत्र रहेगा वो रहेगा निदान परिवर्जन. जिन भी निदानों से जो भी श्वसनक ज्वर की संप्राप्ति एवं निदान सभी ज्वरों में लगभग समान माने गए हैं, तो दोषों की अधिकता और विषमता को देखते हुए जो भी उसके निदान है उन निदानों का परिवर्जन. उसके पश्चात जो दूसरा सूत्र है, रोगी के साथ में भोजन, पान, स्नान, शयन नहीं करना चाहिए. जैसे कि हमने बताया कि ड्रॉपलेट इन्फेक्शन का मोस्ट कॉमन कॉज है. ड्रॉपलेट इन्फेक्शन से ये फैलता है, तो निमोनिया पेशेंट से दूरी बनाए रखनी चाहिए. उसके अतिरिक्त न्यूट्रिशनल सपोर्ट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. तो उष्ण, पौष्टिक और उष्ण खाद्य पदार्थों का सेवन करें. धूल और धूप आदि से बचाव करें. चिकित्सा में कस्तूरी भैरव रस, नारायण लक्ष्मी विलास रस, रस सिंधु, शुद्ध टंकन, इनको कॉम्बिनेशन करके सुबह शाम अदरक रस और मधु के साथ दें. सीरिश आदि क्वाथ या गोद जीवा आदि क्वाथ का प्रयोग कर सकते हैं काढ़े के लिए. इसके अतिरिक्त अगर ब्रेथलेसनेस की प्रॉब्लम है तो श्वास कुठार रस का प्रयोग कर सकते हैं, जिसकी मात्रा रहेगी 125 मिलीग्राम दिन में 2 से 3 बार. गुड़ची घन वटी का प्रयोग 500 मिलीग्राम की मात्रा 2 गोली सुबह शाम दे सकते हैं। वासा अवले का प्रयोग कर सकते हैं। उसके अलावा व्याघ्री हरिद्री अवले का प्रयोग कर सकते हैं। उसी तरह से अगत्य रसायन का काफी अच्छा इसमें रोल माना जाता है यदि जो है कफ ज्यादा अधिक मात्रा में है। व्योशादी वटी चूसने के लिए दिन में 4-4 घंटे के अंतराल पर दी जा सकती है। उसके अलावा द्राक्षासव या अमृतारिष्ट रोगी की रोग प्रतिरोधक क्षमता को बढ़ाने के लिए तथा रोगी की रोगी का जो लीवर है उसको स्टिमुलेट करने के लिए, जो उसकी एपेटाइट वगैरह कम हो गई है उसे बढ़ाने के लिए हम अमृतारिष्ट द्राक्षासव इन काढ़ों का प्रयोग कर सकते हैं। उसी तरह से यदि खांसी सूखी है तो तालिश आदि चूर्ण का प्रयोग करेंगे। इसमें हम श्रृंगाब्र रस 250 मिलीग्राम, श्वास कुठार रस 125 मिलीग्राम और नरसार 250 ग्राम इसको मिला करके सुबह दोपहर शाम मधु के साथ प्रयोग कर सकते हैं। पथ्य आहार की बात करें तो जैसे बताया गया है कि सुखोष्ण जल, मंड पेय आदि लघु आहार, गोदुग्ध, पटोल, कारवेलक, द्राक्षा, दाड़िम, सेब आदि फलों का प्रयोग और स्वच्छ वातावरण में रहना। अपथ्य में अति व्यायाम, वेग विधारण, अस्वच्छ जल, अस्वच्छ वातावरण इनका ये अपथ्य माने गए हैं तथा इसके अतिरिक्त ज्वर चिकित्सा के अंतर्गत जितने भी पथ्य और अपथ्य बताए गए हैं उन सभी का प्रयोग हम श्वसनक ज्वर या निमोनिया की चिकित्सा में आयुर्वेद के अनुसार हम कर सकते हैं। उसी प्रकार रोगी के बल और रोग की स्थिति को देखते हुए भी हम अपना जो भी चिकित्सा पत्र है या जो भी हम अपनी चिकित्सा है उसमें परिवर्तन कर सकते हैं। So this was all regarding management and treatment of pneumonia together with the Ayurvedic management of Shwasana. In next lecture series, we will discuss some other disease. Till then, have a nice day. Goodbye.